All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. It is January 26th. Great to be here with you, and it's always great to be here. This is my happy place, but then again, pretty much anywhere I am at that moment is my happy place. So I call this Myths and Mysteries tonight because sometimes people get the perception when we make posts about what we're eating for dinner or what we had for breakfast or things like that we're doing some sort of low carb diet. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So I just wanted to kind of like give you an idea of like what that means. There are plenty of diets out there that I'm going to call imbalanced. So I'll use a couple that I don't have to worry about brand names. There's a grapefruit diet. There's a diet where you eat a lot of protein. There's a diet where you eat a lot of fat and more protein than carbs. There's a diet that lets you count points, whatever a point is. Um, but often these things, the point was not necessarily that's just more complicated. But often what these do is they throw your body into an imbalance to help you lose the weight. And that's neat and everything. But the problem is that when you create an imbalance in your body automatically wants to go back. Good evening. I'm hoping that's Jane. I don't see a name. All I see is Facebook user. So I'm not really sure who the Facebook user is. Your body automatically wants to go back to default. So that's when craving kicks in. That's when all of that kicks in, which is why some of them build in what they call quote unquote cheat day. Problem with cheat days is that it creates a mentality that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing because the word cheat has a lot of negative connotations, doesn't it? So that's the thing about it. So one of the reasons why we post these recipes, and you'll notice we call them lean and green. And the reason we do that is because that's our dinner portion of our program while we're in the weight loss phase. That being said, while I haven't been in weight loss in, my goodness, 4 years, um, going on 5. And I still eat that type of meal for dinner because I kind of front load my day with the healthy carbs that I eat. Now, notice I'm also using the word healthy carbs. The idea being that you consume the correct amount of carbs and the correct amount of protein to sustain your body because you need both to make your body perform optimally. Pretty simple. And you do need fat too. You don't need 75% of your diet to be fat. But one of the reasons why that happens, and for some people it does work, by the way, the reason that they have to do that is because you need X amount of calories to survive, right? So if you're cutting back on almost all carbs and only eating protein, you have to fill that void somewhere because you're not going to get the calories. You just, good luck trying to eat 2,000 calories, even 1,800 calories of meat every day. I tried one that like many, many years ago, and it was virtually impossible to do. So here's the thing. You need a balanced diet. Going it alone's hard. That's another myth that you can do it yourself. You can. There are people who can achieve it on their own, but most people can't. And that's where we come in. We're here as guides to help people lose their weight. We're going to show you how to do it. We're going to teach you how to do it. We're also going to teach you how to evolve into what we live now, which is optimal health. All right. We eat for our body weight. We eat for our energy expenditure. We don't eat because we just love to eat, although I love to eat. And there are times where I'll eat something where I just want to eat it because every once in a while it's not going to kill me, right? So I'm not I'm not this austere, amazing person who never falls down. Don't even think that. Because believe me, there's a pizza parlor around the corner. It ain't bad. Right? I took Joan out for a birthday dinner to a pretty nice restaurant. There wasn't much healthy at that restaurant. The point is that happens on occasion. But the rest of the time, we are eating healthy meals, including breakfast, snacks in between. And we eat 6 times a day, guys, just so you know. I do still eat 6 times a day. I don't necessarily eat what we use to lose weight, which we could talk about, but I do eat 6 times a day. And my protein to carbohydrates is pretty close. It's about 40 to 35%. And the rest, that 25%, is fat. Avocado, and not just any fat. Avocado. The meat we eat is pretty lean meat. London broils, low-fat pork, which would be like the pork loin, shrimp. I eat fish at least 5 times a week, maybe more. Chicken, no skin. And yes, we do eat whole grains, but not while we're losing weight. There's a reason for that, because we put you into fat burn. And if you eat starches, they convert to sugar in your body, and then your body burns them first before it burns fat. And when we lose our weight, we're burning our fat as fuel. And the result is the areas that you hate about your body look better at the end. So that's sort of where that goes. And mysteries, you know what? Mysteries are things that we don't know yet. Things that we don't know yet. And it's absolutely amazing to me how much I'm learning about how my body functions, how my mind works, how Joan and I this week, and if you guys want to check it out, there's a Facebook page called the Ultimate Breakthrough for 2022 with Tony Robbins. And we're actually doing a Tony Robbins seminar this week. And it's free for those of you who'd like to go check it out. It's every day at 2 o'clock, though, so that can be tough. But it's on Facebook, so you probably get the live later on if you sign up. If you're interested at all in Tony Robbins, go check it out. It's really, really powerful. And that's what I'm talking about with mysteries. Every day I dig in and I look at something new, something different, and maybe a different perspective. Some of you may have heard of Jordan Peterson. Some people don't like Jordan because they think that anyway. Peterson looks at things as 2 ends of a scale, almost everything. And oftentimes he'll say things that get taken out of context. And that's really what happened to him about 5 years ago. Something he said was taken completely out of context, and people started hating him. And to be honest with you, he's a clear thinker. He will lay out his case for what he believes. He's a psychologist, by the way, too. And he'll lay out his case for what he believes pretty clearly. And I'm reading a book now, thanks to my friend Mary, who suggested it's called The 12 Rules for Life. And I'll tell you what, it's like he takes a scalpel and just goes in and goes, here's a thought you had. Let's examine it. And almost everything in that book that I've read so far, I've experienced, I've lived, I've thought about, and I didn't even think I knew. You know what I mean? I wasn't even conscious of it. So here's the thing. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. And I'm 62 years old. And I don't think I've ever read more books than I have in the last 2 years. Probably 3, actually. And I'm not stopping. I'm going to dig in. And book suggestions from anybody is fine too. And I am reading fiction now. I posted about that last week. Got some great suggestions. Great suggestions. The one book, I can't think of it offhand right now. I'll post it in the comments, but it's about a prep school up in Boston, and it's really a great story. I'm a fan of storytellers. Harper Lee in To Kill a Mockingbird tells a fantastic story. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to read that in schools today because people think it's racist. It was actually a very anti-racist book. If you read it, you'll feel it. I mean, like, I felt it. How much that author hated racism. Why would we not want people to read this? Read the book. And it's something I should have read in high school and never did anyway. Matter of fact, that's exactly what one of my friends said. And I was thinking that anyway, and they just confirmed it for me. I'm going to go back and see if I can find a high school reading list. So anybody who went to CD with me, if you remember any books on our reading list, send them over. I'm going to start reading again. I think I need to read some of those. I do have now in the queue Catcher in the Rye, Catch 22, and a couple others. But so that's it for today. I just wanted to jump on and talk to you about, like that sometimes like what you always see is not always everything, because we don't post everything we eat. We just post our dinners. I mean, I could post, I've actually posted, like I have yogurt in the afternoon, Greek yogurt. It's all like no fat. I'll have, Joan and I eat a brownie every night, but it's 110 calorie, healthy brownie. Delicious. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Grow, keep growing, help yourself, grow yourself. And if you want to check out Tony Robbins, ask me, I'll send you a link to the page. Guys, have a blessed night. Love yous.